Advaita Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sacha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Pariyana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Sacha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Guru Avishta Shapurakam Guru Ganarashi Sambhushitam Chinta Chinta Samstu Vedanipunam Shri Rupa Panthanugam Govindabhidam Ujjalam Vartanam Bhaktianvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divya Bhagavad Premno Hibij Bradam Devam Divyatanam Sushandravadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadek Varnam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandetam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nyasiswaram Śrīdharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gauriya Guruvanve Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhat Gagne Gaura Sankirtanay Mayavadat Mingilo Daragatan Udhritta Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdi Gahana Sukham Pradata Prabhum Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murte Gaurangri Padma Bhrangaya Radha Bhav Nishevine Mande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanadim Gaura Vrajashita Sheshair Vaishnavair Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdhim Nidda Vaishnavam Mancha Kalputaru Bhayascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayocha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Tvashe Namah Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors tuning in, and those who will tune in the future. Welcome to our online Sangha, our Friday evening. We are right now in the middle of reading through the Golden Volcano of Divine Love. I have our panelists and guests. Let me bring them on. Dandat Pranam Shripad Arun Krishna Prabhu.
Dandat Prabhu, Dandat to all.
Welcome. Dandat Pranam Shripad Chinmoy Dev Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranams.
Very sharp haircut. And
Hare Krishna to all of you.
yeah, welcome to Anilji. Very good to have your association.
Hare Krishna, sir. It's
Hari.
my pleasure.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So we're going through the Golden Volcano of Divine Love, and we did the introduction. There. Hold on one second. Arun Prabhu is holding up the edition that we're following. There are several others. There's like previous editions and maybe ones after that I don't know of, but that is the one exactly that we're following. So if someone wants to follow along, then they can follow along with us. Use that edition. So the premise in the introduction, Śrīdhar Mahārāj, he explained to us that essentially the Golden Volcano of Divine Love deals with the life and precepts of Srimad Mahaprabhu and his teachings, primarily the Shikshashtakam. He laid out to us why it is necessary or why is it essential for serious practitioners or sincere seekers who are looking for the theistic development or the highest or the most intimate revelation of divinity. They cannot but come to the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He says the sincere practitioner and the ones who follow theism, they will come to Bhagavatam ultimately to study Bhagavatam, because in the words of Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srimad Bhagavatam embodies the highest synthesis of religion in its comparative aspects. But in that phrase, he said a lot. It's kind of like a bij mantra, and it takes a lot to understand what he has said. So we go through the parampara system, we go through Gurudev, Srila Govinda Mahārāj, we go through Param Guru Mahārāj to understand what that actually meant. So, in brief, as he explains, is the fact that Srimad Bhagavatam takes theism from the domain of consciousness even further and takes it to the domain of divine ecstasy or rasa. And so anyone, any sincere seeker, past, present, future, here or any place else, would ultimately look for that. And who preaches Srimad Bhagavatam like Srimad Mahaprabhu? No one has taught and no one has explained it like Srimad Mahaprabhu. So therefore, it is imperative for persons anywhere in the world looking for the highest revelation of divinity, the most intimate revelation of divinity to humankind, they would come to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So therefore, that's the importance that he's signified of why we should study the golden volcano of divine love. So we covered the introduction, and then I went through Srila Govinda Mahārāj's kind of a biography. It's a short biography, very brief, just one page. And then it's Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj right after that. And so we'll begin from there.
Excuse me, Prabhu, what chapter is that?
It's actually not. It's introduction. It's the introduction. It's before the first chapter. So. Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj is the foremost pure devotee and is the patriarch of the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is an intimate disciple and eternal associate of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the founder Acharya of Gaudiya Math, who masterminded a spiritual revolution to inundate the world with Krishna consciousness. Noted for his wonderful ability to draw out the inner meaning of the scriptures, Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj once composed a poem describing the ontological position of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and the line of disciplic succession stemming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was so pleased with this poem that he remarked, Śrīdhar Mahārāj is carrying the conception of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now I am satisfied that although I may go, at least one man will remain behind who can represent my conclusions. As he prepared to leave the mortal world, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati expressed his desire to fix his consciousness on the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. He called his beloved disciple Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj to his bedside and requested him to sing the famous song of Narottam Das Thakur, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. At that time, in what has been described as a power transmission, he gave Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj entrance into the eternal entourage of Sri Rupa Manjari. According to Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj's vision, however, he was posted as the gatekeeper, the guardian of devotion, Bhakti Rakṣhak, to protect the storehouse of conclusive truths about the full-fledged theistic conception of Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful, as presented in Srimad Bhagavatam and preached by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the line of disciplic succession that has descended from him, known as the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sampradaya. The next is Sri Nityananda Prabhu. By the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, we develop our attraction for Sri Gauranga. Nityananda Prabhu helps us consolidate the foundation on which we can progress further. His mercy sometimes exceeds the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He won't allow even those who want to avoid Krishna consciousness to escape. If someone says, I don't want it, Nityananda Prabhu won't allow it. He will say, no, you must want it. I request you earnestly, take it. Use it and you will be able to feel the value of Krishna consciousness. He used to roam about here and there, rolling in the dust with tears in his eyes, saying, take the name of Gauranga and I will be sold to you. By his mercy, even the most fallen souls can attain the supreme goal. He is the most generous-hearted aspect of Guru Tattva. So we must bow down our head to him, accept his holy feet, and surrender to him. And finally, it's about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme absolute truth in its fullest and most dynamic expression. The influence of Radharani over Krishna has transformed him into a devotee, and he is searching himself. Krishna, the personification of ecstasy and beauty, is mad in tasting his own internal nectar. His dancing indicates that he is full of ecstasy, and his Sankirtana movement is the distribution of that ecstasy to others. Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Sri Krishna is the fountainhead of all pleasure, ecstasy himself, and Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of ecstatic love of Godhead. Radha and Krishna are one and the same, but they have assumed two forms. Thus they enjoy each other, tasting the mellows of divine love. The service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan can be attained only by unalloyed devotion to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. So now we come to Part 1, the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now we begin part 1. So it reads here page 29. So if someone wants to follow, that's the page. The Golden Avatar. In the teachings of Karabhajan Rishi, we find mention of the different incarnations for different ages, Yuga Avatar. In Dwapar Yuga, the Yuga Avatar is mentioned as follows. Dwapare Bhagwan Shyama Pitavasa Nijayuda Shivadsadibhir Angshaischa Lakshanair Upalakshita. In Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna appears with the color of a dark rain cloud, wearing lightning-colored garments. He is decorated with beautiful ornaments, his chest bears the mark of Shivatsa, and he carries his own weapons. After the description of the Yuga Avatar of Dwapar Yuga, Karabhajan Rishi mentions the Kali Yuga Avatar. Iti Dwapara Stvanti Jagadishwaram Nanatantra Vidhanen Kalavapi Tathashnu. He says, O king, up to Dwapar Yuga, I have finished describing the incarnations for different ages who come to remind the people of the most appropriate duty for their age. They come and tell us, if you do this, you will get the greatest benefit. O king, after the Dwapar age is finished, the age of Kali comes. The incarnation for the age of Kali has been mentioned in many places in the scriptures, and now I am just going to explain that information to you. Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, chapter 5, verse number 31. Then he says, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajya Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedasa. In a suppressed way, this verse explains the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The ordinary meaning of Krishna Varnam is of a black color, Krishna Varnam. But Tvisha Krishnam means his luster is not black. Accompanied by his associates, he is worshipped by the process of Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, and those of sharp intellect will perform this kind of worship. Sharp intellect, Sumedasa. Golden gift of the Golden Lord. Dev-Goswāmī explains the meaning of this verse in his own parallel verse. Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangad Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadhyayas Sma Krishna Chaitanya Mashrata. I take shelter of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is outwardly of a golden complexion but is inwardly Krishna himself. In this age of Kali, he displays his expansions while performing congregational chanting of the holy name of Krishna. That he is blackish within means that internally he is Krishna. That he is golden without means that he has accepted the mood of Srimati Radharani. In the age of Kali, that golden Lord is seen accompanied by his expansions, associates, and intimate devotees performing Sankirtan. Someone may argue that the meaning of Krishna Varnam is that his color is black and his luster is also black. But how is this possible? That would be redundant. The conjunction between the words Tusha and Akrishnam means that his color is Krishna, black, but his luster is Akrishna, Tusha Krishna, not black. Then someone might say, not black does not necessarily mean golden. Why should it mean golden? The answer is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. Once Vasudeva sent the astrologer priest Garg Rishi to Vrindavan to perform the name-giving ceremony for Krishna. At that time, Garg Rishi came to the house of Nanda Mahārāj and explained that Vasudeva had sent him. He said, "Your child is now a little grown up, and the name-giving ceremony must be performed." At that time, he spoke the following verse. Asan varnasatrayo hayasya grahanato niyugam tanu shuklo raktas tatha pita idanim krishnatam gata. Pita. In past incarnations, this boy has appeared with different complexions, white, red, and gold. According to the particular age in which he appears, now he has assumed his blackish color. He said Krishna comes in a white color in Satyayug, red in Tretayug, and he also comes with a golden complexion. Now in this Dwapar Yug, he has come in a black color. So the reference to the golden color Pit is found here. Because only that color has been left for this present age of Kali. There is another reference to this golden color in the Upanishads. Yada pashyate rukmavarnam. Krishna, the Supreme Brahman, appears in a golden form. Rukmavarnam means golden. And here also non-black means golden. Krishna wanted to come as the incarnation for this age of Kali, as well as to fulfill his promise in Vrindavan. I shall chant the glory of the gopis, especially of Radharani. I shall chant her name, her glories, and roll in the dust of the earth. But Radharani said, I won't allow your body to roll in the dust of this earth. I shall cover you with my luster. Both the mood as well as the luster of Radharani capture Krishna when he comes here in Kali Yuga. And this does not occur in all Kali Yuga, but only in a special Kali Yuga. In all the days of Brahma, in every Yuga, the Yuga avatar comes. But Krishna appears only once in a day of Brahma, or once every 4.3 billion years. At that time, the original personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, appears along with his abodes, Vrindavan and Navadvip, and Krishna and Mahaprabhu do not come here alone, but they come with their paraphernalia and suitable companions. The next section reads, sweetness tasting itself. And in this age of Kali, he performs a double function. He preaches Nam Sankirtan, and more importantly, he assumes the mood of Radharani to taste his own sweetness, rasa. He is rasa himself, Krishna thinks, what is the intensity of the finest rasa in me? I would like to taste that. But only devotees can taste that. So he took the position of Radharani to taste himself as Krishna. The central, final and perfect abode of rasa. Only Radharani can taste the maximum rasa. So he has to take her nature, her mood and temperament to taste his own intrinsic ecstasy. For that reason, he descended. His first duty was to spread Nam Sankirtan, and the secondary, internal, private duty was to perform Swabhajan Vibhajan, to taste his own intrinsic ecstasy in the mood of Radharani. In Puri, with Ramananda Rai, Swarup Damodar, and other intimate associates, he tasted that great ocean of union and separation continuously for 12 years. In his last 12 years, he passed his time only in the process of tasting that mellow. That incarnation is generally worshipped by Sankirtan. Without Sankirtan, Gauranga and his paraphernalia cannot be worshipped. He is the propounder of Sankirtan. He loves Sankirtan and he gets satisfaction only by Sankirtan. Only those who have sufficient merit, Sukritwan, will worship him by this process. The common mob cannot join this campaign. Those who have good guidance internally, good fortune, can catch the very gist of truth and engage in this process of Nam Sankirtan. Just a quick pause here. As we are going through Param Guru Maharaj's his explanation, and for the curious, very importantly, he is also laying the foundation that the descent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be claimed spuriously. It is already revealed in the scriptures. Like in India, there is like kind of like a factory, continuous manufacturing of gods. Everyone becomes a god. With no evidence presented from any place. Just whimsically, because they want to, so they become. And here, see how carefully everything is being explained and put forth. So that's why this line is for Sumedasa, not the mob. That's the difference.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
on the same line, in this very contaminated Kali Yuga, as you mentioned in Bharat, people who are confused or themselves in illusion by gaining some knowledge or some little experience, as I said, start to claim widely without any basis.
Yeah.
And it is these people who claim, oh, main Ishwar ban gaya. Not just Ishwar, they say, Bhagwan bhi nahi, they don't claim that I have become Devta. They directly jump to, I have become the controller. And then there are many such wonderful idiots who say, I am Bhagwan.
Oh.
And these are creatures, similar category as the person with the curly hair.
Okay, we won't name any names. Oh,
And
Namaskar, Preeti ji.
people
Sorry.
do such great disservice.
Yes, Continue.
confuse people who are even born in India. They have some Sukriti to be born, and they just, rub their nose into the ground and take a deep dive into the solid earth.
Very well said. So that's also one of the endeavors, because we publish these, and Chaitanya Saraswat Math, there are so many. In fact, if you primarily look the Acharya Vrinda, they primarily present our Guru Vargas, and they represent Srimad Mahaprabhu's teachings and his message. And it is so wonderful and beautiful that persons ought to listen to it and then slowly associate and build a spiritual foundation. How far anyone goes, really, there are so many factors, but one has to begin. And this is such an opportunity for everyone. It's open to everyone. Persons thinking that we are within Varnashram, we are outside Varnashram, it does not bear any consequence. Come to the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Guru Gauranga, and then see. But unfortunately, it's open to everyone, but also there is this other side, flip side of the coin, which says Sumedasa. So one has to be discerning and have that kind of Sukriti, Sukritvan. Like Anika and Preeti ji, so they can follow. Otherwise, you cannot. Next section reads, love is supreme. Okay. A rubbish brain cannot detect what is right or wrong, or how precious this is. He cannot understand or follow this higher line of thought. A man should be judged by his ideal, his aspiration for higher things. If the ideal is great, the man is great. What should be the highest ideal? Love. Love is the supreme thing. It is the most rare and precious thing. Divine love and beauty is the highest thing ever known to the world. And those who can catch this are really possessed of good intellect, Sumedasa. And one who possesses this highest ideal should be considered a man of higher order. He alone can understand and practice Sankirtan. He alone can take to this path, this process of satisfying the Supreme Being by chanting the holy name of the Lord. The Hidden Incarnation. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam as well as in the Mahabharata and other Vedic scriptures. Karabhajan Rishi, the last of the 9 great yogis, has given us a clue to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the special incarnation for the age. He has mentioned the incarnation for this age of Kali in a mystic way. We may think, why has this not been described very plainly? So many avatars are clearly described, but when Srimad Bhagavatam describes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the incarnation for the age of Kali, it is discussed in a mystic way. The answer is found in the teachings of Prahlad Mahārāj, who says, O Lord, one of your names is Triyuga, meaning one who incarnates in 3 ages. Satya, Treta and Dvapara, but not in Kali. And why? Because the incarnation for the age of Kali is in disguise. Channa Kalau Yad Abhavas Triyugota Sattvam. Here we find the key to this mystic way of representing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To the fortunate and intelligent circle, Sumedhasa, that ordinary people may not have any clue. Dhyayam sada paribhavagnam Dhyayam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham Tirtaspadam Shiva Virinchinutam Sharanyam Bhratyarteham Pranatapala Bhavabdipotam Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. O Mahaprabhu, your lotus feet are the highest object of meditation, for they not only destroy the pain of material existence, but they bestow the greatest fulfillment to all souls who take shelter beneath them. Your lotus feet even purify all saintly persons and holy places. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma aspire to take shelter beneath your lotus feet. O Mahaprabhu, you give shelter to all who simply bow down before you. You relieve all the miseries of your surrendered servants. In the grand ship of your lotus feet, we can cross over this ocean of material miseries. O Mahaprabhu, I bow down before your lotus feet. Quick pause here. This verse is in the Bhagavatam. Dhyayam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham tirthaspadam shiva virinchi nutam sharanyam bhratyarteham pranatapal bhavabdipotam vande mahapurushate charanaravindam. Go ask all these people who do Bhagavad Katha, who listens to this? And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest amongst us. Please welcome Shripad Sarvbhavna Prabhu.
Jai, Dandavat Prabhu.
Shripad Sarvbhavna Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Please excuse me, my tardiness. I'm still trying to. My computer wasn't quite working like I expected. And now I'm getting my. Here I am.
Hari Bol. Jai. Shripad Sarvbhavna Prabhu needs no introduction, and he is, to me, he's a friend and a guardian. And since the time, I'm always a newcomer when he's around, because when I came, since the time I came, he has always been very kind to me, my family, and everyone. And he has always welcomed. He has been open in sharing the storehouse of his own deep conclusions, his own realizations, what he has got immense mercy from our Guru Varga. So I would like to hear from Shripad Sarvbhavna Prabhu, because it has been a long while. And please, we're reading the Golden Volcano of Divine Love. You were central in that entire team of bringing it to us, so we could have access to such beautiful literature. So Sarvbhavna Prabhu, please just
Okay. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm not sure if I deserve such a, but Jairam Prabhu is so heartfelt, and I'm honored to speak here something today, and Dandavat to all of you. I've been quiet for a while, and doing my own internal search for Sri Krishna, my own journey. So I'm a little out of practice, so to speak, but I wanted to just say a little bit about the how the Golden Volcano Divine Love came about. After Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada left the planet, his disciples were trying very hard to follow, his instructions and keep his mission going. But some of us were seeking shelter with Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj. And one of the first to do that was Srila Goswāmī Mahārāj. And he was so taken by Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj and his Harikatha, his beautiful message, his sweet mood, everything. And he was so touched. So he recorded everything. We had just been, left without Srila Prabhupada, and everyone was thinking, we should have recorded every minute, every moment. And so with that mood, I think Srila Goswāmī Mahārāj, when he went to visit, to see Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj, and he went multiple times while he was still within the framework of ISKCON. And I knew him at that time. And he recorded everything. And he asked Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj so many questions that were so pertinent, And even later, Srila Govinda Mahārāj, he asked Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj, he said, some of these things you've given in the English books, you've never even told to the Bengali devotees. And he sort of, how is that? And Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj said that, like if a mother's has different children, and one of them is crying very hard or is in great distress, she'll give more attention to that child as needed. And so in this situation where many of the devotees of Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, were in distress and needing guidance. And Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj, he offered that type of guidance and that type of shelter. And I remember the first time I really heard from him, from Srila Goswāmī Mahārāj, about Srila Śrīdhar Mahārāj and what he was presenting, something of what he was presenting, a taste of what he was presenting. But it was like I went into another dimension, We walked into Goswāmī Mahārāj's office and then came out, 3 hours later, think, my whole world is different now, my whole prospect is different. So that was the type of earth-shattering influence he had. And Goswāmī Mahārāj, he really worked hard to capture that. And when he would leave India to come back to the West, he would arrange with good tape recorders and supplies of those, cassette tapes. That's how he was recorded. So everything was there. So Guru Maharaj's servants could continue the recording. And so many times, from those talks, Goswami Maharaj, he started, putting together excerpts from different talks about the same subject. And in this case, about, for example, the life of Mahaprabhu, or the Shikastakam. So Goswami Maharaj would put this together, but he asked it, he was getting guidance from Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Guru Maharaj gave him the conception. And that came from, Guru Maharaj was, speaking about or meditating on or absorbed in the description of Mahaprabhu chanting Harinam among the crowds of thousands or millions, I don't know, some great description. And he was so tall that he towered above the crowd. And the description, he was described as a golden mountain. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he was like, that inspiration, he just started speaking about how it was a golden mountain, and from him came the Chiksastakam. And that was like divine love or divine lava. And then he said, golden volcano.
Hare Krishna.
And so this was in, Goswami Maharaj is, yes, Maharaj. So, different, and each of the books, had, you can see, has a bit of a different tone or focus. Yeah. And there's a progression to them, and that was guided by Srila Guru Maharaj, and manifested through Srila Goswami Maharaj and Yogi Maharaj, Mahayogi Maharaj's work. It's really hard to speak about these books and how they came about without some mention of Sri Mahayogi Maharaj. He worked so hard and so much. Anyway, it was a wonderful time, and when those books were being produced, and I got to have a small part in it by Krishna's mercy and Goswami Maharaj's tolerance. The first book he printed the traditional way at Kingsport Press, and which was a big printing press in Tennessee. I used to go there when I was in ISKCON working for the book publications, and I would go there for press okays, and at that time when we printed books for like South America and Latin America, like Bhagavad Gita, the paperback version, we would print maybe 300,000 or 500,000, a lot. So anyways, when we started producing the books, or Goswami Maharaj started producing the books, he went to Kingsport Press, but then it was a lot of money and he wanted more control over the process. So then he decided to get a printing press. And, I helped him a little bit with that. I helped him get the typesetting machine to do the layout for the books. Because, in those days, the desktop publishing really wasn't there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the first typesetting machine he got for $6,000 cash. Was Risha Kapi, Sureshri Didi's husband, departed as Didi. He was helping Goswami Maharaj, and he pulled out a paper bag with $6,000 in cash.
Hare
And he
Krishna.
told the sales lady, here's 6,000 cash. And this was a big drop from what they were asking for. But it was a used machine. It was overpriced, you know. But Goswami Maharaj didn't have enough money. And really, Vishakapi, he made it happen, you know. And he just really says, you can put it in your pocket if you want. We don't care. Just leave the machine. And so, anyway, they made the deal. And Goswami Maharaj got started. But just to let you know, it was computer driven. It had 4K of memory. And that was considered
4K.
quite ample at the time.
Sorry.
So things have come a bit further since then, you know. But those days were, you know, quite, quite wonderful. Now, the book itself, it's about the name. It's about Mahaprabhu coming to give the name for the most fallen. So we feel like, oh yeah, I'm that. I'm the most fallen. But there's really a lot of fallen. And things are becoming more and more clear day by day. So the whole situation is so, on one hand confusing, another hand disturbing, another hand challenging, another hand depressing. But this is the type of situation where we know we've been given the key. And the key is to take shelter of the name and take shelter of the devotees. And that means serving the devotees. Right now, these little acts of, you know, kindness between people sometimes is what maintains others. You never know. Many people, because of the quarantine type effect, are feeling depression. Yeah, this is very difficult. And it's such a serious thing. So, you know, we have such a wonderful gift. The holy name is, you know, can give everything. We can take shelter there. And then we share that with the devotees. And Kirtan, Śrīla Guru Maharaj was very clear. He said, Kirtan is not only when we chant with the mridanga and kartals, but it's when we preach, when we speak about Krishna. He says, that also is Kirtan. And he said, preaching, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur, he said, preaching is even greater Kirtan, or more stronger Kirtan, because when you're doing it, when you're trying to present this wonderful conception to someone and engage in that heart transaction, you're completely absorbed. It takes all of your resources, all of your mind, all of your heart to do that. And that's full absorption. That's full kirtan. And this was Śrīla Saraswati Thakur's view. But the chanting of the name also is so wonderful. It can go places where no discussion may go. And it won't be denied. In the Golden Volcano, it talks about the effects of the name and what to look for. So we have so much we can do. And I mean internally. And that internal work, it surfaces in our interactions with others. And that comes out as love. So that's the whole thing. The golden volcano of divine love. Through that mood of the mood of Mahaprabhu, I'm really not qualified to go there. But we have a direction to aim like that. And our Guru Varga, our Acharyas, the devotees, they're giving us, they're reciprocating with these talks and with trying to serve, trying to help each other, especially through these difficult times. This is real, you know. And if you're speaking to others, Srila Govinda Maharaj, she said, how will you preach how will you tell someone about Krishna if you're not their friend, if they don't see you as someone who is their friend that they can trust? How will you make a connection? So we have to be able to be friends with people. And that's preaching. And Srila Govinda Maharaj said that preaching means giving your association to someone. Wow. I think Srila Sripad Vaishnava Maharaj, she would refer to that as hanging out. But yes, can we say that's preaching? Yeah. Because we can't just rubber stamp one activity or another activity. This is where we have to go inside and connect with the heart. So, I don't know, I think the allotted time is maybe coming to a close.
Please go on. Don't worry about the allotted time.
Oh, okay. I feel like what I'm saying is maybe audacious, and certainly coming from someone speaking beyond his pay grade, so to speak. But shamelessly, I'm presenting it at your feet.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to just mention to people here and to you, Prabhu, that seed of devotional service that I had in my heart, it really grew and took roots under your shelter, under your instruction. And I'm so, so thankful for all the association you have given for so many years. Whatever question came to my heart, you have completely satisfied in all the settings. And what can I say, but it's Krishna's gift that you have appeared in front of me and to be able to talk to you and through you hear all the instructions of our Guru work. My koti dandvat pranams to you, Prabhu.
Jai, Arun Krishna Prabhu.
Jai Shripad Sarvabhauma Prabhu ki jai. We need to see more of you. We need to hang out more.
Well, in my normal evasive way, I'll respond, we'll see. But possibly I was thinking, do you ever just read from the books and this on the online class? So, the verses of the Shikshastakam, they just, in the popular vernacular, they blow me away. So often no commentary is possible for a sane person. So, but still, to read them together, to hear that that come out is very powerful, but powerful in such a sweet way. And that's sort of the mood of Guru Maharaj's description, the sweet aggressor.
Joy.
Anyway, so possibly we can visit again in this
Hare
beautiful
Krishna.
Sangha. Chinmay.
We would love to have you read with us, discuss with us, and continue to give us your divine association like you have. We miss it, and anytime you can come, I have you on the list, so you will get all intimations whenever you can come, whenever you can join. That will be a gift to us, and that will be entirely our benefit. And
I have to say it is real benefit to have the association of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya or Sarvabhavana Prabhu. And especially like when I lived at the temple, I was always very happy when Sarva would come every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he would do what we're doing right now, reading from the books of Śrīla Govinda Maharaj and Śrīla Śrīdhar Maharaj.
Haribo.
Just always nectar.
Haribo.
And I will mention too with the Golden Volcano, because Śrīla Govinda Maharaj and Prabhu was mentioning this earlier, that Guru Maharaj was giving something extraordinary to the Westerners. And Gurudev, he saw this bit of in the sloka of the Shikshashtakam that he couldn't quite understand the meaning. He had some idea. So he searched through all the acharyas, what they had to say about the Shikshashtakam, and couldn't find anything. And then where did he find the meaning of this sloka? Found it in Golden Volcano.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Well, Govinda Maharaj told me that Goswāmī Maharaj, he said Govinda Maharaj's statement was that if Śrīla Guru Maharaj had not given anything else, but just the explanation of the Shikshashtakam, he said that would have been the greatest contribution to the Sampradaya. He said, even if it was nothing else but that, just that. So it's such an important, if we were to speak, his other contributions are just, monumental, which falls short. What can I say?
Hare Krishna. Sarvabhavana Prabhu, I just wanted to ask you if you're comfortable. I would request you to lead us with Hari Harai. And then after that, this young lady with us, baby Anika, who's Bikram and Preeti's daughter, after you're done, she will do the Jai Dhwani for us.
Okay.
So if you would kindly...
1 second, please.
Yeah. Please take your time.
I'll be right back.
No problem. Dandavad Nandarani Didi, Dandavad Pranam. And let's see who's Dandavad. And we have Madhav Prabhu from Facebook. He's saying my respects to all. So a big Dandavad Pranam to him. Then Divya Shakti Didi is there. Dandavad Pranam at your lotus feet, Divya Shakti Didi. And then I have Thais Carvalho. Dandavad Pranam. Namaskar. Paulina Navarro. Namaskar. Rakhi Biswas. Hare Krishna. Namaskar. Welcome.
I'm back. My when I came to set up from scampering in from the highway, my computer didn't work. It worked fine on our test, but for some reason today it didn't. So I've been working with my phone. So I don't think I can see all of you. So please excuse me if I haven't acknowledged you. I won't. No cartel. We'll just.
Yeah, just like that.
As you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
I gotta plug in. Well, we'll see, huh? I guess I don't reckon.
There would be some delay because of the internet thing. So, Prabhu, you'll have to be tolerant to people like us.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Radha Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Radhadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunatha.
Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Ichai Gosai Kuri Charana Vandan.
Yahoite Vignana Sabista Puran.
Yaha Hoite Vijnana Sabista Puran.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bol. Okay. Anika, please.
Jai Saprika Shri Shri Guru Granga Gandhar Govinda Sundar Giri Gopila Ju Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Patmangsha Paramhangsha Parvarcha Kyada Priya Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Patmangsha Parvarcha Kyada Priya Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakṣhak Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Padmangsha Parvarcha Kyada Variya Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Sanata Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Pad Shal Gorkshoro Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Pad Shal Achichi Nanda Bhakti Vinoda Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Pad Shal Jagannath Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Rupanaga Gurvarga Ki Jai.
Jai.
Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Baladeva Vidyabhushan Ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Nartama Shamananda Srinivasacharya Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Saprasad Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Saprasad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Rashi Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Syamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Lakshmi Vardeva Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri the Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsimha Deva Ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakta Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ganga Jamuna Ji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Rantaraja Shri Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charamatra Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vishwa Vaishnava Sabha Ki Jai.
Jai.
Akrat Mat Raja Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Tadyasaka Mat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vishpa Pavya Tadyasaka Mat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Damarpur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Damnavadip Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vrindavan Pursitan Dham Ki Jai.
Jai.
Baladeva Subhadra Jagannath Ji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Govinda Kunda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Shri Shiva Gangra Ji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Samveta Vaishnava Mandal Ki Jai.
Jai.
Samveta Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Jai.
Nita Gopnande Hari
Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shripad Sarvabhavana Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai our divine panelists Sripad Chinmadev Prabhu Ki Jai. Divine panelist Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. Srimati Preeti Ji, Anika Ji, Bikram Ji and family Ki Jai. Nandarani Didi Ki Jai. Our guest Anil Ji Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
श्रीपद जयराम प्रभु की जय, आबा दीदी की जय, नवानिका दीदी की जय, नाम प्रभु की जय।
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad to you.
Dandavad.
धन्यवाद।
Okay.